Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cornucopia Marbles Podcast.
You can't use cornucopia.
Why not?
We already did that one.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
We've never used Cornucopia before.
I will check the files.
Fucking check the files. We've used Capricious.
We've used capricious. Well, I'm capricious and he's men.
Wait, hold on a second.
And
Plural?
I have a cornucopia,
Marbles.
and it's filled with conflict.
The fuck is a podcast?
Hey guys, it's Complimentary Mania. I'm Trevor, and this is Tommy. And today we have a very.
I thought it was men. I'm so confused.
We have one of the greatest debates of all time.
Oh,
we
yes.
have come to a conflict that has caused nations to collapse, countries to divide.
It's a little exaggeratory.
Men have slaughtered other men and families over this situation.
Probably not.
I'd like to think so.
Also, I don't think this situation has happened. Otherwise, we'd know I'm just right.
And I'm about to commit the first one of those murders. Now,
Let's
Tommy,
go.
the silverback gorilla, one of the greatest animals to traverse about the mountains. And then, the Alaskan grizzly bear, one of the most ferocious, fearsome predators of the forest.
Hold up. I wanna say something.
Okay,
Can it be a
thank you,
Canadian?
something.
Can it be a Canadian grizzly bear, not an Alaskan grizzly bear, please?
Well, then it's not fair, because you know what's going to happen in this death matchup?
Look, I get it.
Okay,
The Canadian grizzly bears are nicer than the Alaskan ones. That's why I want a Canadian grizzly bear.
Yeah, but then it's just like, you know what happens? The gorilla goes up to it and goes, and then the bear is just sitting there, and he's got his dainty little teacup, and he's like, oh, Chop, would you like to sit down and have a drink with me?
No, he'll say
Let
like,
us discuss the maple stocks.
he'll be like, well, hey there, ho there. Would you like to buy some maple syrup there, sir?
Honestly, bears would be kind of good at, like, selling maple. Think about it. They have so much access to it. They have the tools to, like, harvest it and shit.
No, you need like a specialized dripper to harvest maple tree sap.
Nah, bruh. You know what you do?
The gorillas would be better at harvesting maple tree sap
Oh,
because
shoot.
they have like hands
Okay.
and they can use tools.
We'll talk about the death match after we're talking about the Alaskan, but right now we're going to talk about the Canadian working with the silverback gorilla to forge this monopoly over maple syrup. So what, does the bear like try and chop down the trees, and then like the gorilla uses his massive big boy gorilla strength to like wring the trees out like they're wet rats?
How the fuck do you think maple syrup's made?
It's you normally
No,
with a tap.
Yeah, you tap.
It's with
you
a
have
tap.
like a spigot and buckets.
You know what's the one problem though? We're not gorillas.
Oh yeah.
We
fair
don't
enough.
have access to that fearsome strength that they have. They could literally juice them fuckers like it's
You know what
a
else doesn't
rag.
have
It's a wet
access to
rag.
that fearsome strength that gorillas have?
what?
Fucking bears.
Yeah, but does the gorilla have an axe in this situation?
Are we going full Kong versus Godzilla? Sure, we'll say the gorilla goes into the core of the earth and gets like a weird energy axe.
Well, because I think the bear has a better chance of knocking the tree down. We need to knock. Because how are you going to juice a tree vertically? What's that motherfucker going to do? Is he going to like stripper pole on it and then try and squeeze it at the same time?
I feel like if a gorilla really needed to knock a tree down for some reason, it's probably smart enough to pick like a rock up and just beat it until it falls over.
Maybe? How many rock hits do you think that's going to take?
I mean,
It's a gorilla, I guess.
That's how the
but-
first like axe was developed by humans. We just beat trees with rocks, so it's not impossible. And gorillas are way stronger than us.
Okay, we'll give the gorilla his tools or whatever, and he can have it.
We'll just say he finds a rock, okay? We're not giving him the ability to craft stone tools. Let's not make gorillas too advanced. I've seen Planet of the Apes.
So, between the bear and the grizzly, who has more power in the maple monopoly?
Like I said, I think the gorilla's got it because of tool use. The bear probably doesn't have enough, like, manual dexterity.
However, bringing it back to the original discussion, I think the bear would simply overpower and intimidate the gorilla to where the gorilla becomes his rentoid wage slave bitch.
Okay, first off, you need to stop watching economy videos. It's corrupted your vocabulary. And second off, the gorilla's not an
Rentoid wage slave
not an
bitch.
easily intimidated foe. They're used to kind of being the biggest cats on the block, you know?
Yeah, but like the problem is grizzly bears are just bigger.
Right, but okay. Let me throw this out to you, okay?
Okay.
Honey badger.
Badger.
Versus
badger,
lion.
Badger.
Honey badger versus lion.
Lions are pussies.
There is not a single lion that wants to engage in that fight.
Just because they're pussies.
No, it's because honey badgers don't give a fuck. Lions weigh like, what, 2-3 times the weight of a honey badger, and the honey badger gets the dub every time just because it's meaner and has like more resistance to whatever the lion can do. You have any idea how much force is behind a lion's claws, and the honey badger just has like thick skin and hate and survives?
How aggressive are lions compared to not gorillas? Of course not gorillas. Gorillas lose in this situation, but grizzly bears are much more aggressive than lions.
Okay, if we're going to go with the grizzly bear versus honey badger argument, I think the honey badger still probably just scares
it does
the
not
grizzly
get the
bear.
dub. No shot.
Look, this is why I said we need to set up ground rules, because animals, when they're in a fight, they don't look at it the way like an MMA fighter does. You know,
Actually, now that no, because
usually animals, when they fight, they just sort of like beat each other up until one of them starts running away. And sometimes there's a pursuit if the animal's hungry or particularly angered, but usually not. Usually it's sort of like a display of force and one of the animals runs. So that's why honey badgers routinely scare off lions, and I think they would routinely scare off bears if they were in a similar environment, because no one wants to fuck with a honey badger. It's not worth the calories it takes to kill it, and it's not worth the energy it takes to kill it.
No, I'm just saying.
So if a gorilla and a bear had to fight, I think the bear runs away because killing the gorilla is not worth it.
Yeah, but we need to consider it by deathmatch rules, because if one just runs away, that's not
That's
fair.
why I said it's important to establish definitions. Let's figure this out. So it's a cage match?
Yes, we take... Okay,
It's a cage match?
there's a
We've made
cage
them
match
both...
on a flat plane, right? There's,
Okay.
We'll say it's like 100 foot by 100 foot cage, so we're not being too unfair. They have room to move around, right?
I mean, we are being kind of unfair, because gorillas are used to being able to, like, beat people with, like, sticks and rocks and shit.
Okay, there's no sticks or rocks. It's just dirt.
So we're disarming the gorilla, man? Come on. I think
If
gorilla
you
with...
want, I guess you could give it a rock.
I think gorilla with rock beats grizzly bear.
No fucking shot.
For sure.
No shot.
For sure.
No. I have the facts right here. Do you want to look at facts? Do you want to see the facts?
Let's show the specs of our fighter. You go first.
Okay, I go first. Okay. A bear's hearing ability, no one cares. Doesn't matter. They have good vision. Bears are fast. They can run more than 60 kilometers an hour, 37 miles per hour. That's twice as fast as an Olympic sprinter.
Well,
Okay.
it's twice as fast as some. Usain Bolt, I think, taps out at, like,
Mm-hmm.
what, 22?
Yeah. Gorilla speed, though. Let's see the gorilla speed.
Hold on. Read your fighter stats, then we'll read my fighter stats.
Okay. Man, this one sucks. There's not much else on this slide here. Let me go find a different one. Yeah, this source seems trustworthy. Bear.org. Oh, intelligence. Large brain compared to body size. I'm gonna be honest. Like, at least in the intelligence category, the gorilla gets the dub.
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, I know I'm rooting for the bear, but the bear is just fucking
Do you think
dumber.
the gorilla's got more battle IQ?
Probably.
Swimming speed? We're not
Lean
seeing...
bears exceed 30 miles per hour. It has good swimming ability. That's not applicable here.
I mean, if the battle's aquatic, the bear just wins.
Yeah, pretty much.
You need to look at, like, its weight and, like, max bench or some shit.
Yeah, but they don't fucking put that on here, because, you know, normally when you look up, like, characteristics of a bear, the last thing they're gonna put is, okay, does it beat Goku? You know? Like, this isn't Death Battle.
I mean, I think bears do beat depowered Goku.
Goku with no powers,
Just a human.
He probably
Just like
gets
a dude.
soloed.
Just like an absolute lad.
Sex ratio? Imagine getting ratioed by a bear.
Shut the
in
fuck
sex.
up. Bear climbing a tree.
Longevity, causes of death, gorillas. No. In Minnesota, black bears less than 16 typically die from starvation, predation, falls from trees, and other accidental causes.
The fuck is preying on bears?
I don't know.
I thought they were top of the food chain.
Nearly all adult bears die from human-related causes. Most of them die to humans.
Predation. So,
Which, I don't see anything here about gorillas, I'm just saying.
well, they live in different habitats. You've looped back to the start.
We've looped back. This is sad. Let's go... Because we're talking about specifically grizzly bears.
I mean, we'll talk about other bears, because I think black bear versus gorilla is not even a debate. Black bears are, like, much smaller and just
they
lose.
They get nay-nayed. That's why I gotta bring up the grizzly, because black bears just die. They're nerfed. Brown bear claws are long and curved in rare cases. No, that's just about colors. Come on, tell me how much, like, pressure they can apply. Can they, like, crush a million skulls at once?
Probably not. Honestly, your stat page is kind of lacking.
Yeah, you have so much of a better one.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if you can,
I don't think I'm gonna find anything on here. The sources that I made it the fuck up.
Cool.
But, let's see something about, like, bear attack statistics. This will do less to, like, put out the exact abilities of the bear, but more so just give an idea of how much damage and havoc they can wreak.
Look, bears are, like, a terrifying force of nature. I'm not disputing that. I just don't see how they beat gorilla. Because, like, one thing I'd like to bring up, bears don't do a lot of fighting. They're sort of, like, top of the food chain. They kind of hang out. Sometimes
they
they
just
like,
chill.
have, like, disputes with other bears. But there's rarely a situation where, say, a bear gets attacked by something.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, gorillas are fighting with each other and fighting with larger animals all the fucking time. Like, the average gorilla is way more used to fighting for its life than a bear. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, we're sticking them in a ring. Maybe, I guess, the gorilla might have more experience fighting, but...
Not only does it have more experience fighting, but, like, it's probably more evolved to do so.
Oh, here we go. 12 Canada bear. This is accurate. This is when the monopoly goes south.
The Canada bear attacks.
The Canada bear doesn't get enough of a share from the gorilla. Bear attacks. This is just about bear attacks against people.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought? There's not one about gorillas.
Well, yeah. I mean, it'd be immoral as fuck, but can we just put two of them in a ring?
Bear versus gorilla. Because I don't think we're going to get any good statistics if we just look up attacks based off of people against gorillas.
I did do some pre-gaming. Most people are on Team Bear, including Joe Rogan and a licensed zoologist or two. But, like, I gotta say, Gorilla's got it, man.
Gorilla doesn't have it. Also, Joe Rogan is a gorilla. It's surprising he would say bear. Have you heard some of the noises he made? Alright, gorilla versus bear. Both animals have large teeth and are heavy in size and stature. Overall, the fight between gorilla and bear would come down to which bear and circumstances. Okay, let's see. Bears are technically not the dangerous creature many make them out to be. Yeah, they're basically what we just explained. Come on, let's see where they fight. Okay, statistics. Gorilla size. Gorillas can grow a little over 5 feet in height. The western gorilla will max out at 350 pounds, and the eastern gorilla's weight will range between 310 and 450.
We gotta cap out. We gotta go eastern gorilla, highball it.
Okay, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. This is the biggest gorilla in existence. He's like 450, right?
Cool.
Bears in their many species can grow anywhere between 8 and up to 10 feet tall. They can lift. They can up to. Someone didn't proofread this. They can weigh up to 1,000 pounds.
Listen, fucking giraffes are much taller than their predators. Usually weigh more than them too. Just gonna throw that out there.
But they don't have like any defenses. Basically, they have that long ass neck and like the weird.
Hold on, have you not seen giraffes spar?
Yeah, I know they just slap necks against each other.
Yeah, that's
it's funny.
Fucking like thousands, well, maybe not thousands, that's hundreds of pounds of force.
I mean, yeah, but like if a mouth is going against that, it don't matter too much. Just eat it like hamburger. Would a gorilla beat a bear? If you're counting on strength, the bear has the advantage, but gorillas are fast and intelligent, and they have one of the most powerful arms in the world. In the real world, though, unless the situation was extreme, both animals are more likely to ignore each other than anything. This is not very helpful.
I mean, we've already established that. Like,
who would win, black bear or gorilla? This one just says the black bear loses.
For sure the black bear loses.
But we're not talking about... God,
This
web
is why I
sucks.
said we should have done research beforehand. Pull
Yeah,
the
but it's
stats
fun.
up.
It's funny when we do it live.
It's less funny when we do it live. Less funny when
Okay,
we do
here
it
we go.
live.
Silverback gorilla versus grizzly bear fight. Who will win?
Why did they give the gorilla grills in this picture?
Why is he dripped out? This dude has a rack. There are several astounding battles that have taken place in the wild. Often they are animal versus animal, but otherwise a man versus animal, which doesn't happen frequently. But one battle keeps popping up and has kept the people debating as to who will win in a fight: a silverback gorilla or a grizzly bear. Okay, let's go to statistics.
I think it's like I think to throw a D&D situation out, it's kind of like rogue versus barbarian, right?
Uh-huh.
Like the grizzly bear's got size and like,
He's tanky and he can deal more raw damage.
well, he's tankier, but he doesn't have more arm or leverage. Like, think about it. For a bear to like full power attack a gorilla, it needs to stand up and lunge, and gorillas are just so much faster than that. Like, they can pivot and move and also like punch way before way before a bear can really, I'm gonna say, swing, you know? Mm-hmm. Bears are not like, have you seen an image of bears fighting?
yeah, they
they're
just get up on
fast.
their hind
They're
legs.
fast, and they maul each other a lot, but like, gorillas are so much fucking faster.
Oh, I know.
It's kind of like
Though on foot they aren't as fast.
Right.
Speed of 23 to 25 miles per hour for the gorilla. That is a 12 mile per hour difference from the grizzly bear.
yeah, but that's kind of an advantage because bears run on all fours. Gorillas are bipedal, and they like pivot on their knuckles a lot.
Yeah.
That means that the gorilla's, like, structurally, from a skeletal perspective, better at punching and dealing damage than the bear is, because the bear has to move in a way it's not evolved to get a good swing in.
Their claws are as long as 2 to 4 inches. 4-inch claws.
Bro,
Them motherfuckers gonna. I know gorillas got some thick skin, but 4-inch claws. How much damage can they apply?
not a lot. Bear claws are kind of designed for digging and scavenging because they're omnivores. Mm-hmm. So, like, they're better at ripping into honeycomb.
Yeah, but they can use that. The bear just is bigger. Though oddly enough, at least on this source, it lists that the silverback gorilla has a 1300 psi bite force over the grizzly bear's 1200 psi bite force, which is actually kind of interesting. I thought they would have less.
Yeah, gorillas are not. Don't fuck with gorillas, man.
Yeah, but they're not gonna
Like,
bite.
bears aren't.
Compared to the bear, the bear's
Bears-
gonna get the bite before the gorilla does.
Why would you say that? Gorillas are faster and more violent on average because they fight each other and other animals way more often than bears do. Bears are evolved to be solitary animals.
When gorillas fight, they don't normally like bite at each other.
Yes, they do.
Not that I've seen.
They scream and screech, and half the fight is pushing the other gorilla away before it can bite the first one.
Yeah, like punch and push each other around. I have never seen them bite each other.
It's also important to keep in mind that the bite force on either side of this spectrum is estimated because we can't really get a gorilla or a grizzly bear to bite as hard as they can on like a machine we can test it.
Yeah.
We can just kind of get them to
I'm
bite
gonna
it.
say they're even on that field. But the bear has a slight advantage simply just because of how big its mouth is. In a sense, it gets more reach.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. It's going to be a lot harder for the gorilla to bite the bear than for the bear to bite the gorilla. I'm not saying the gorilla can't inflict damage, but the bear's going to get to the gorilla first.
The bear's gonna get to the gorilla first, but once they're there, the gorilla's faster from like a combat strategy. Think about it like this. The bear can run faster, the gorilla can fucking bop.
As mentioned earlier, stronger and bigger animals generally win, so with the above given statistics, we know what the outcome of the fight already is, but it won't be a one-hit win. A silverback gorilla's arms are longer in comparison to a bear. That gives him an advantage in reach on a grizzly bear, but that's about it. Grizzly bears are taller than silverback gorillas and more aggressive in comparison. Matching a gorilla in strength and size with a plus point on claws won't be a problem.
I don't know how big an advantage the claws are, though. Like, you can see, like, there's videos you can find online of, like, bears scratching on trees and whatnot, and they do some serious damage, but like gorilla's skin is just so tough, man. I don't see the claw.
I don't think you're giving the claws enough credit.
I don't see the claws doing enough damage.
Haven't you heard of like people going out with their like mountaineering vehicles and stuff, and then they get attacked by bears, and then motherfuckers just rip through like the metal that is the car?
Yeah, but you're applying the wrong physics there. There's a difference between trying to rip through thick skin and trying to rip through something that's just stationary, right? So like if I bite a stress ball, right, like one of those stress balls that are filled with goop or like Orbeez or some shit,
Then you will have a mouthful of shit.
no, then the rubber will stretch around my teeth. But if I bite a jawbreaker, it becomes a match between my bite force and how much sheer force the jawbreaker can handle. So when a bear's clawing a car apart, it becomes a match of how much sheer force the bear can generate and how much sheer force the car can deal with. But if a bear has to, like, I don't know, try and claw and bite soft leather, then the leather's pliable, it actually bends, and since the claws aren't serrated or in any way designed for hunting or tearing the way like a predator's are, it's harder to...
I think I'll keep going on this. Yes, silverbacks are strong too and are known to break small trees in a go, but he only stands a chance if he goes for the neck of the grizzly bear from behind.
That's actually funny. I didn't even think about it. Is there anything a grizzly bear can do if he just goes for like a full Nelson?
Headlocked, no. If he attacks head front, he'll only be served humongous razor-sharp claw. Assuming a silverback does get around a grizzly's neck and bites into his neck with his 1,300 psi bite force, considering bears have a weaker neck, this is only possible if the silverback is of an exceptional size, matching it up to a grizzly bear. Well, in other primates, a chimpanzee. What the fuck? Who proofread this?
Honestly,
Hanji.
chimpanzee versus grizzly bear is like not even a fight.
No, it's not.
Poor chimp.
On the other hand, if a silverback tries to outrun a grizzly, he'd be ripped to shreds, since grizzlies run at a faster speed, like 12 miles per hour. We already established that. Also, if agile and dexterous arms of a gorilla got torn off by a grizzly bear, his thumbs would prove to be of no use. So,
really? If his arms get torn off, the thumbs don't do anything.
This professor's really smart. It turns out if you're missing your arms, you can't use your thumbs. Sorry, guys.
Holy shit! I had no idea.
We should develop on this further. Tommy, do you want to do some testing? If I rip your arm off, we should try and see if you can, like, what fingers you can use.
I'd be down. But you have to pay for the ambulance ride.
We'll put that on the podcast, Bill.
Ooh, we could go to our favorite breakfast joint. You could rip my arm off there.
Oh, okay. Any chances of a silverback fighting a grizzly in the wild would stand only if the silverback feels the troop is in danger, or if a grizzly feels surprised / threatened to itself or its cubs. This isn't applicable.
Okay,
it's a cage
actually,
match.
that is fairly applicable because we're talking about just them fighting.
Yeah, but they're fighting to a death match. We have to override the fact that they might not want to
No,
fight
actually, I have two very solid arguments. So, solitary gorilla versus female defending her cub, I think the gorilla just loses. Because bears defend, like, especially female bears defending their cubs will fight past the point of death. They go into, like, berserker rages.
Yeah, but we're assuming that for the gorilla, too, in this situation, they need to have all their abilities. I don't want to nerf your side. I know it loses,
well, hey, fuck off. And second of all, if a grizzly bear is just out there and, like, starving and spots, like, a troop of gorillas, the grizzly bear just loses because gorillas are social animals, right? Like,
they are.
We're talking one gorilla might be able to beat a grizzly.
I'll give you
one gorilla might be able to beat
If there's two gorillas, they just win.
If there's two gorillas, no shot, and they live in bigger groups than two.
Like in the 1v1, the grizzly gets the dub. But if there's any more than one gorilla,
I also want to bring up that running away point he made earlier. So if this is a cage match, what happens when they climb the cage? What's the climb speed? I feel like gorillas have to have a faster climb speed.
Yeah, but...
Because, like, bears are really good climbers, like, shockingly good climbers. Because they can, like, grab, and that's what their claws are really for. They're climbing and digging claws. So they like grab, puncture the tree, and like shuffle up it really fast.
Yeah.
But gorillas have opposable thumbs and they can
They just
swing.
climb and shit. Yeah.
So like I think any cool like climbing up the cage and like dropping off from it combos are going to be done by the gorilla, not the grizzly.
Well, I mean, yeah, but if we're considering terrain advantage, we also have to give the same kind of terrain advantage to, like, the grizzly. We'd have to give him, like, a medium pond or something to swim in, because then he just...
Hold on, you said cage match. I'm
say
saying cage match favors the gorilla because it adds to its evasion.
I still think the gorilla loses, but...
What
is the gorilla gonna do? Is this motherfucker gonna climb up, then climb up, like he's gonna monkey bar up to the top, and then the grizzly bear's gonna look at him from the bottom and go, "Rah, rah, rah."
I think that's actually what happens. Like if we put both
and
of
then
these...
the gorilla just
That's who wins this fight, the gorilla.
the gorilla drops on top and then gets the Nelson, then he gets the dub. But in a normal situation,
I'm sure if we
hate to
have
say it.
an Assassin's Creed style gorilla, the gorilla just wins because it knows to go for them aerial takedowns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's something gorillas normally do.
They don't.
Though, so.
They don't.
But no. If we put them in a cage match, what the animals would actually do, if we put them in a cage match mad at each other, what the animals actually do is the gorilla climbs up the cage and the grizzly bear yells at it and tries to climb after it, and the gorilla can just like evade it while also screaming
They would
at
just
it.
forever be stuck in there till one of them gets exhausted. No, what actually happens?
Ooh, hold on. I think bears take the dub in endurance, don't they?
They do. Also, in terms of damage sustained, they're obviously tankier, but, like, bears have the most adrenaline out of any animal in the world, basically. Well, at least one of the most.
Where's your stats coming on that?
I heard it on a podcast.
You've heard it on a podcast. Was it this fucking podcast that we're recording right now?
No. Here, let me show you something.
Okay. You just put Andrew.
That's the name.
Adrena.
That's the name. That's the name of the bear. This seems like just a personal story. No, I don't think that's it.
I don't think they measure adrenaline output of specific animals. I think you need to dissect the brain when they're like angry to do that or some shit.
Bear spray. This is just about bear spray. Where the fuck is the? I want to learn about their adrenaline.
This is why we should have done the research
It's funny when we do it here, because then we can argue about it too.
It's less funny.
Maybe that's what you think. How strong are grizzly bears? Oh no. Why does this one say? Dude, they nerfed the bears on this page.
Oh yeah, like quite a lot. Hold on, scroll up. Weight between 200 to 720 pounds? That's not.
That ain't it, Chief.
Hold on.
I think they're considering, but it also says adult.
Yeah, no.
Which is weird.
Actually, so like grizzly bears range wildly on how big they get based on their diet.
Yeah.
So highballing both of them, the grizzly bear might just be like this huge monster, and the gorilla is just like the biggest gorilla ever, but like half its weight. But if we lowball both of them, oddly enough, the gorilla's lowball is higher than the bear's lowball. So there's a situation where a gorilla fights a grizzly bear where it has the weight advantage.
How many bullets to the head can a grizzly take?
I don't think that matters. The gorilla's not shooting the grizzly.
It probably feels like that.
Now, the gorilla went through blunt force trauma or biting the neck.
Ultimate rifle for hunting grizzlies.
You need like an elephant gun to take a grizzly out, don't you?
Yeah, that's basically what this page is saying. You need a big-ass gun to kill them. And from what I've heard, at least, they continue going for a little bit, and then they die.
Yeah. I mean, but that's also true of, like, most large mammals. No, like, literally most large mammals keep going past. Hell, that's true with humans. Humans can take multiple gunshots and keep going. We just usually always die afterwards.
Usually it doesn't last nearly as long either.
Right, but there's stories.
We don't have as much damage resistance.
Like Blaine has a story about this guy in Blaine's a friend of ours. But he has a story he likes to tell.
He's actually here right now.
Oh yeah, hey Blaine.
Hey Blaine. All right, continue.
And he has a story he tells where like, and he wasn't there for this no one he knows was there for this, but supposedly, like a
This
guy,
already sounds like bogus. I'm sorry.
like a guy in Nam took like several gunshots and kept going and like looked down and died from the shock of seeing how many bullet holes were in them, and also the blood loss. But the adrenaline had kept him going for like several minutes past when the like bullet trauma should have killed him.
I have a full counter argument for that. Skinwalker.
Oh yeah, could have been a Skinwalker.
He actually faked his death. Did they ever find his body? Because if not, he could have just like morphed into the ground, and now he's like some dog or something wandering
Look, this
around.
is Blaine's story. Let me ask.
Maybe it's Blaine now.
Yo,
Holy
Blaine.
Okay, Blaine's a Skinwalker.
Should we explain this joke to the listeners, or
No, this is funny as fuck.
we just keep the bit? Okay.
Blaine's here.
Blaine's here,
He's
right, Blaine?
He's a Skinwalker, but he's here.
What?
He's
Okay.
a Skinwalker because the Vietnam guy.
Hear me out. Hear me
Blaine's
out.
the only one that knows about.
Hear me out. So in a situation where we highball, like the strength and weight of both the gorilla and the grizzly, and we take like the best grizzly and the best gorilla, I'll admit the best gorilla dies to the best grizzly. But if we take the worst grizzly and the worst gorilla, the gorilla's got the dub.
Are you sure about that?
For sure.
We should pull up the worst grizzly or the worst gorilla then.
Honestly, like, a 200-pound grizzly isn't scaring any gorilla. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say.
but does
like,
it scare
they deal...
the worst gorilla?
It doesn't even scare the worst gorilla. They deal with, like, worse predators than that where they live.
Okay, Edge, help me out here. Worst gorilla. Worst gorilla's songs. World's most horrific chimp attacks as raging apes rip off peoples.
Okay, hold on.
Dot.
How about lowest recorded gorilla weight?
Okay.
Because that's probably where the 200-pound grizzly came from.
Heaviest to lightest? But that's between species, and we're talking about silverback.
140 pounds.
Yeah, but that's the mountain gorilla. It's a different species.
Fair play.
Otherwise, I could just say, here, the heaviest gorilla is the silverback gorilla. This gorilla can weigh up to 500 pounds.
It was 400 on the other website. We seem to not know as much as we think we do about these animals.
No, I just think it's funny. Let's look up silverback gorilla weight. They have exceptional strength that is 4 to 9 times more than average humans. They can lift or throw up to 1,800 pounds.
Hold on, are you telling me that in this matchup, both the grizzly bear and the gorilla could just like throw the
each
other one?
Yeah, they're like DBZ characters. They could beat Goku.
They could play Smash.
They could play Smash, and they could beat Goku. It says the lowest weight here is 310.
Okay.
So we'll say 310 pounds. So on the worst spectrum,
Like
the gorilla probably takes the dub.
If you take the worst gorilla and the worst grizzly bear, for sure the worst
gorilla wins because it's just bigger and it's more
So
dexterous.
So now the argument I'm gonna make is I think the gorilla still ought to take the dub in this argument because
Yeah, but what about the average?
hold on, that's what I'm talking about. The average.
Baka.
So grizzly bears are endangered, and they don't get as big as they can because they suffer low food during prepubescence. This is like, if you know anyone who's very short, they probably didn't get to eat a lot growing up. Sorry,
Ben,
Blaine.
you just trying to... Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry, Blaine.
Either way,
Blaine's a puddle right now.
stop. That's not a puddle.
And
that's a disc.
he's under the dresser. Okay, continue.
Gorillas, on the other hand, are social animals, and they seem like they're way less likely to starve out because their situation is a lot less solitary, and there are other gorillas helping feed them for the entirety of their lives. Also, they live in an area that's way more remote from humans. So think in this situation, the average gorilla is actually probably stronger than the average grizzly bear. The thing is, there are just, like, exceptional examples of grizzly bears, like, absolute monsters that we tend to think of when we think of grizzly bears.
Weight. Average grizzly bear weight. We'll do the average. So we will take... This one says 200 and 660 pounds is the average range.
Right.
With the 1,000 being, like, just ludicrous. Like,
right, they can get
well beyond.
absolutely ludicrous. Like, to put it in video game terms, if you're a grizzly bear player, the skill ceiling is way higher, but you need to survive and live that long.
Let's say they weigh 500 pounds, because that's about the consensus I'm getting from.
Hold up.
There's this and there's this.
If it's between 200 and 660 pounds, you can just add that and divide it by 2, so that's 880, which makes the average 440. So yeah, sure.
Oreos like these white girls that blow me.
Yeah, I mean, if you add that, the average is 440.
It still does.
Oh, shit!
It still does outweigh the average gorilla, though.
Yeah, it still does outweigh,
think-
but I don't think it outpowers. Is my thing. I think
it
I think the
outpowers.
giant examples people think of when they think of grizzly bears, because they're like such. They're almost like Sasquatch here in North America, right?
Yeah.
Like, we think of these giant, majestic, like, almost prehistoric creatures. And, like, a good number of grizzly bears are, like, big and will fuck you up, but they're not, like, 1,000 pounds big.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, 1,000-pound grizzly bear probably just takes the dub. Like, there's a not zero chance that the gorilla just bites the grizzly bear's neck and just wins, but,
Grizzly gets the dub.
I
Simply put.
I think gorilla takes the dub if you take the average example of each and not just absolutely highball this creature that if it's lived a very long successful life.
Personally,
can
I think
become,
unless
like, a
we're
ton.
looking at the worst case scenario for both, I think the grizzly dubs. On a side note, can we rent a bear and then feed it a bowling ball? 'Cause the wiki says they can crush a bowling ball by like chewing on it.
Yeah.
So we should definitely start a Patreon for the podcast, so we can rent a bear.
If this
and feed it a bowling
podcast
ball.
gets 15 views,
If this podcast
we'll
gets
start a
more than 30
GoFundMe
views,
where we can
yeah.
rent a bear.
We already have 15 views. We have to do it now.
No, this episode.
Oh, this episode. Okay, if this episode gets 15 views,
We'll start a
we will-
GoFundMe.
we'll start a GoFundMe so we can rent a
bear.
grizzly bear and a bowling ball.
Well, just the grizzly bear. I'll pay for the bowling ball out of
okay.
pocket.
You're the goat. You're the carry here. That's such a stupid fucking fact.
I like to think,
Statistically, it makes sense, but like I like to think
statistically speaking,
statistically speaking, someone
I bet they gave it to a bear in like
No,
a
they
zoo
didn't.
enclosure.
No, they did
as like
not.
something to play with, because they give bears toys in
they
zoo
did give
enclosures.
bears toys, but they
They probably gave them a bowling ball and was like, "Hey, they can like roll this around and have fun with it." And the bear just decided it didn't like it and just crushed it one day.
that probably did not happen. I'd really like to think that happened, but there's just no way. What kind of fucking zoo feeds the bears bowling ball?
It didn't feed the bear the bowling ball.
Might as
though.
well
I thought
be-
it was a safe toy.
What do they think's gonna happen to it?
The bear would
Okay,
like chew
when
on
you-
it and roll it around, and it'd be fine.
Yeah, what happens when you give like a large dog, like a plush toy or something? They
but
rip it to shreds.
Bears are way more intelligent than large dogs.
I mean, yeah, but
And they've displayed the ability to be gentle with their toys and like play with them. Like, you'll see a floaty in a bear enclosure, and it didn't just like destroy the floaty.
that's interesting. There was a bear out there that really didn't like the bowling ball. Huh. So do you think there's any is there a non-zero chance that the grizzly bear and the gorilla shake hands and they like set off to make money on the monopoly of maple?
I think if you let the two of them loose in the same area in Canada, starving to death, very hungry, with blood in their eyes, they wouldn't shake hands, but they would go their own directions and start opposing businesses.
Oh, they start opposing businesses.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I don't think there's a situation where you can really get these two animals to fight unless they're like defending.
Yeah. Or they're in the cage match.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to the next part of this debate. So since they've split off from the cage match and have started their own businesses, which competitor outperforms their rival?
Actually, I'd like to talk about what businesses do you think would be like the best at. Like, if you're a grizzly bear and you have to start up, what do you think the grizzly bear business
Bears
model
could.
is?
I'd like to think grizzly bears are probably really good at definitely going to be anything that has to do with manufacturing or just crafting in general, because bears can't do that shit. It'd probably have something to do with just like a food production thing, foraging incorporated or whatever. They just gather berries. Very simple. I honestly, the gorilla wins this.
You know
one,
what my boy the silverback gorilla does?
The silverback gorilla's juicing fucking trees like they're wet rags.
My silverback gorilla startup is selling feet.
Shut the fuck up. I was gonna give him like, oh well, maybe he's like a basket weaver or something, but no, you just had to go.
It doesn't have opposable thumbs. That's like one of the biggest differences.
I'd figure it out.
It has thumbs, but they're not.
I never said the baskets would be
ball
particularly
socket.
nice.
I feel like
okay, let's be real.
Either the grizzly bear, either the gorilla is the like bouncer to a really cool bar, or it's selling feet pics on OnlyFans.
Okay, we already kind of have those. Have you seen some of the bouncers that are like outside of bars?
For sure.
And what kind of fucking degenerate are you? The first thing that popped into your head was...
Sorry, guys, before we started recording the podcast...
I think we discovered something.
Before we started recording the podcast, we were doing some pre-gaming, some research, you know? And he was scrolling past the recorded footprints we have on silverback gorillas, and he was like, damn, them some dogs!
Put them dogs away, motherfucker.
I just... Like, I want the court records to show that Trev over here was the one who pointed out the footsiness of the silverback gorilla.
Dude, they had this dubious picture on Wikipedia that had just this thick-ass... Oh my god. It doesn't matter if it's non-opposable. That thing could do wonders. That dog, put that shit on a leash. Put that shit away. Put it in the kennel. It'll make me act up. Okay, so we've settled the gorilla versus grizzly debate.
So gorillas are better at business.
Gorillas
and
win
the weakest gorilla beats up the weakest grizzly bear.
In every other situation, in terms of a fight, the grizzly bear wins.
I disagree, but we can move on from there.
So we call this a tie? I'll settle with a tie.
I'm comfortable with a tie.
Okay. But we're also considering business. The gorilla completely dominates the business area.
Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe not, actually. Grizzly bears have a proud heritage of performing and dancing for money. Like, they'll walk on balls and shit.
So you're saying the grizzly bear...
dancing bears in Russia are, like...
So the grizzly bear has some fucking posse with him. Of like circus bears.
I mean, no, but it has a career path, right? The gorilla's got to like be more of an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
The grizzly bear just has an option it can take if it really needs.
I mean, couldn't the gorilla do the same too, though?
There's less of a
appeal.
Well, no, there's just less of a history of us having, like, performing grizzly bears. Sorry, of us having performing gorillas.
As opposed to grizzly bears?
Yeah, as opposed to grizzly bears.
Can we just go on a side tangent real quick?
Yeah.
What kind of insane fuck out there? Who was that dubious little guy that thought to take one of the most lethal predators in existence in our current day?
I hate to rain on your fucking
turn it
parade.
Into a fucking
I hate to rain on your parade, but grizzly bears are omnivores. They're scavengers.
They are scavengers, but
like,
if you go up against it, you get fucked.
No. Listen, if it's a polar bear, it's different because polar bears are actually some of the deadliest predators alive today.
Okay, let's look at this. Would you call a rhinoceros deadly?
Yes.
It's not a predator, per se.
You just call the grizzly bear a predator. Okay.
It's an omnivore. It could eat you.
It could, but it probably
a rhino
won't.
wouldn't.
It probably won't. That's the difference, right? Like,
I guess.
Gorillas are violently territorial. They might be herbivores, but they'll kill you if you go anywhere near them. Grizzly bears are, more open to, like, non-fleshy treats.
Mm-hmm.
And, you can raise one that doesn't have a taste for blood.
I mean, yeah, but they eat people.
No.
They've eaten people.
No.
They eat other animals. They eat flesh.
They do eat other animals. Grizzly bears don't eat people because humans have one of the coolest defense mechanisms ever.
They taste like shit.
Yeah, we taste god-awful. Sharks don't like us. Grizzly bears don't like us. Fucking, if you're in Africa or, wherever, lions don't like us. To get crocodiles and alligators to eat humans, you need to literally just give them access to an abundance of corpses for them to ever develop, like, a taste for man flesh, or put them on meth. Otherwise, there's no way they'll eat us willingly. They have to be starving to death, surrounded by human corpses, or under the influence of drugs before they decide to eat humans.
Think about that next time you eat someone out. You could be eating out something so much tastier.
Actually, think about this if you're considering becoming a cannibal. Apparently we taste really bad. Just eat something else, my guy.
Just, like, be a normal person.
Only the hottest takes here. We're coming out against cannibalism.
Cannibalism is bad. Hey, next podcast episode, we're going to talk about how violence is bad, and also who Goku could beat.
Also, rape. Rape is bad.
Rape is bad. Yeah.
Just end the episode
Just
there.
end it right there. Yeah, we still have another segment to go. So, you had another surprise versus. We won't go as in-depth with this one. But
I actually had two. One of them's more of a shower thought, and I'm curious to hear your take on. The other one is a more long-form discussion.
I want to call it a shower thought because we're not in the shower. Unless you want to take it in there, but...
We could take this in the shower.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm so clean. Wait, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Oh, this is so immersive. Oh, get my lathering up.
Philosophical thoughts.
All right, I gotta scrub my head here, guys.
Philosophical thoughts.
I feel so enlightened and refreshed.
You hit the mic. I'm gonna have to cut that out. You have any
No,
idea?
you don't. It's immersive.
No, hitting the mic makes such like a loud and obnoxious like ringing noise. It's so bad.
It's okay. It's fine. Just like decrease the volume and just put like ding.
Anywho, Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet.
What?
Saitama
versus Thanos
with the Infinity Gauntlet.
This comes down to, can Thanos snap faster than Saitama can get to him?
Hold up. That's not the thing. Saitama has immunity to basically any force and gets exponentially stronger with his opponent. That's why he can kill anything in one punch, because like if he spends any amount of time around something, it gets exponentially stronger than they do. That's why he fights God. Like, his limiters are broke. And it's really funny because Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet has perfect control over everything.
Well,
so
the problem is, like, we're talking about a quote-unquote, like, gag character or whatever compared to, like, Thanos. Saitama breaks the fundamentals of power when it comes to any character, so
right,
he just...
but actually, so does Thanos. It's comic Thanos, not movie Thanos, for those of you going like, the Avengers one, it's just that. No, comic Thanos has perfect control over everything. The entire Marvel Universe teamed up against Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet and tried to beat him, and they lost. We're talking Galactus was there, Magneto was there, Professor X was there, fucking Iron Man and every one of his suits, Ultron showed up. Every character that could possibly fight against Thanos all teamed up under the one goal of killing this man.
And then Thanos, like, he threw it back on them, and they all got taken up in his bootylicious dance, and they just withered away.
Sure, we'll say that's what happened. He got bored and deleted the universe and then recreated it, and that was one of the soft reboots Marvel's had over the years.
He did one of those Fortnite emotes. What's the one where it's like twerking but not really? So it's
We're just gonna move on from that.
Okay, basically Saitama still just solos. It's just because
how does Saitama solo if Thanos has perfect control over everything, though?
Saitama just gets stronger than Thanos, right? Because he's around him.
Well, the thing is, Thanos' strength is infinite.
Okay, so Saitama's is infinite plus one.
No, Saitama's strength is just also infinite, because infinity doesn't have an end point.
Okay, so one of two things happens. Either Saitama just punches Thanos, or like a black hole appears that sucks up the universe and it all implodes and we all instantly vaporize and die. They would just unexist everything. Either that or, Saitama just does the funny punch thing and then Thanos turns into a stain. One of those two things are going to happen.
I don't know. I think it's more interesting than that. I think it's like immovable object, unstoppable force kind of thing.
Well then, yeah.
I don't think there's a solution to this.
Okay, Saitama, Chuck Norris. We're back in 2011, guys.
Okay, so I think Chuck Norris takes the dub here.
Okay, but how?
So Saitama's technique where he can like his limiter's broken and he exponentially gets stronger with his opponent. Chuck Norris developed that and can turn off other people.
That's some bullshit. This is like one of those D&D characters where you bring in like a folder and it's like, oh well, you can't do that because you didn't do this and this and this before, and you're like, well, actually, right here in page 318, subsection 18, it lists in my character's backstory that he was a pro ice skater and he learned how to perfect the triple eight double-decker layer technique. So yes, he can do 17 flips over the Tarrasque, instantly killing him. That's got the same energy as that.
I mean, that's just Chuck Norris jokes in a nutshell. I don't know.
They're so unfunny, guys. I get it, Chuck Norris, but let's never make those again. Chuck Norris does completely solo, though. He does win.
I don't think there's a character in fiction that wins against Chuck Norris. There are some that stalemate.
You know, how many SpongeBobs can take out Goku? How many Gokus does it take to beat Chuck Norris? No, let's answer that question.
How many Gokus does it take to beat Chuck Norris?
Yeah, how many Gokus?
Well, Chuck Norris can multiply himself infinitely, so you would need...
What, infinite Gokus?
I don't think infinite Gokus take the dub, because then it's just infinite Chuck Norrises versus infinite Gokus. That's basically just a 1v1 at that point.
How does Goku win, then?
I don't think Goku wins.
Even if we give him, like, infinity Gokus?
Well, Chuck Norris has infinity Chuck Norris.
Yeah, but... Okay, we're in the lore... Here, we're gonna refer to the internet again. Can Chuck Norris dupe himself? I don't see anything about him duping. I'm just saying.
There's a Chuck Norris joke about him duping, for sure.
Bing says, I'm not sure what you mean by dupe himself. Could you please clarify? Here, I'll be nice. I'll put duplicate. I don't think any of these videos help us out here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we would need to go back like 10 years, at least.
Yeah.
To find Chuck Norris jokes.
I'll give you this. He's
Okay, he's a time traveler, and he's immune to paradoxes, so he has infinite Chuck Norrises.
Right, you can just go back in time, make infinite Chuck Norrises, and then come back to the present day and make even more infinite Chuck Norrises.
Sure. I don't think you need to go higher than infinite Chuck Norrises.
He's flexing.
Do you want me to bring up the not shower thought one, or are we just going to keep going on Chuck Norris?
We'll bring up the non-shower thought one, because we're already hitting the hour mark right now.
Fair enough. Okay, so try to take this one a little more seriously. I think I know whose side you're going to be on, which is fine, because I think I know that I'm on the opposite side. Kratos.
Sorry, I didn't take Saitama versus Thanos seriously.
It wasn't supposed to be taken seriously.
I don't...
Kratos versus Master Chief.
I don't want to say it. Master Chief takes the dub.
Really?
But I really don't like saying it, because I think Kratos is way cooler.
Okay, first off, sacrilegious and shameful.
We'll talk about our opinions on the characters being cooler than each other a different day. But
okay.
For the matchup itself, Master Chief takes the dub simply because of the tools in his arsenal.
Really? You think guns stop Kratos?
No, but like all the energy fields and like shields and shit that he gets. Like Master Chief has survived fucking explosions, like planets exploding and shit.
I mean... Yeah, but only in, like... That's misrepresenting Master Chief's durability. He's not, like, a planet buster like Goku, who could just, like, stand in an explosion that size and be fine. He, like, had to go in and, like, escape pods, and sure, like, the force he took would kill a normal human, but it wasn't, you know, he caught, like, the edges of those explosions. He wasn't there at the epicenter.
Here, let's put it this way.
Also, can Kratos die? Like, doesn't Master Chief just lose to durability? Like, Kratos' afterlife is just empty. Like, he fought his way out of hell, destroyed hell. Does Kratos die, or because he escaped Hades, is he no longer able to perish?
I don't know. I hate asking, because I don't... Can Kratos die?
Because first.
In, like, bold fucking text, literally just the words, cannot die. In 2018's God of War confirmed that Kratos really cannot die and has accepted his fate to walk the earth. He is, here, on this listing, he is a demigod who can die permanently in God of War despite being a god. However, Kratos is immortal in the sense that he can't die of natural causes and becomes stronger after resurrection. So he can just resurrect.
In the latest
game, he doesn't even die. So what, does he just get... Because I haven't played Ragnarok. I've heard a lot of bad things about it compared to, like, 2018.
We're not going to go into spoilers for Ragnarok. I don't think it's super important to this discussion.
No, it's not. But
he gets a new weapon in his arsenal, but I don't think...
It don't matter. Like, the Leviathan Axe and the fucking Blades of Chaos do enough work for him.
Well, he has a cool spear that lets him teleport.
I mean, it's cool, but I don't think he needs it that much to win this fight.
I mean...
if he can't die, he does take the dub just simply because he can't die.
You think Master Chief could, like, paralyze him? Like, is breaking his spine off the table? Or, like, what if Master Chief, say, used an energy sword to remove all of his limbs? How does Kratos mythology himself out of that?
It's solely dependent on who's more combat ready.
All right.
Also, even if he does die, he'll just resurrect.
Right.
Apparently in God of War Ragnarok, he just can't die.
Well, yeah, he can't die. But that's not the argument I'm making.
You're talking about him getting dismembered.
Yeah, dismember or paralysis. Can Master Chief do that, and does he win if that happens? Can Spartan Rage regenerate limbs?
We should
or
take into
cure,
consideration
like, spinal paralysis.
We should take into consideration some of the other things Kratos has withstood, because obviously some of the blows he's taken from actual gods should have definitely destroyed every bone in his body and turned him into a puddle.
Right, and how much force can be recreated via Master Chief's tech, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he has a rocket launcher that's capable of, like, way too much kinetic force. Like, I saw a game theory short on how much fucking, like, force is at a, like, average rocket launcher in a video game, and how, like, they generally, like, super blow it out of proportion, because if you can, like, spin flip a tank with a rocket launcher, that's a lot. Ridiculous.
Well, we have to consider, is that more power than a god?
Well, we also have to consider, like, at what point does it become a match, right? Like, okay, so say Master Chief shoots Kratos with a rocket launcher, and Kratos gets flung, like, a couple 100 feet back. First off, that didn't do anything to Kratos, but also, like, Master Chief now just is in a situation where he can permanently create distance.
They're not dumb individuals, that's the problem. They would sooner or later find a way to work around one or another's weaknesses.
Oh, shit.
And, like, kill each other. The problem is...
Do we bring in Cortana into this situation?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, Master Chief always has her. That's kind of like taking a weapon away.
If you want to. I don't think she changes much, I'm going to be honest.
She's a strategist and would be able to, like, analyze Kratos and give specs mid-combat.
She'd probably say, this guy literally can't die and we need to, like, run away. Honestly,
just imagining, like, a Halo mission. You just hear da-da-da-da.
Like,
da-da-da-da.
honestly, I thought
Kratos is just, like, running over a hill.
I thought, like, Kratos could actually die, but I guess apparently, according to the lore here, he can't.
Yeah, that's...
So Kratos kind of just wins by... I hate saying it. He just wins by default.
I don't think he does, but, like, because paralysis and dismemberment, are they on the table? Can Spartan Rage regenerate that?
Yeah,
or, like,
but,
what if
like,
Master Chief buries him?
Yeah, but do you think he's gonna get dismembered or anything in the first place? He's survived Ares' blows by his giant sword. He survived Valkyries. He survived other gods slicing into him.
So...
Zeus, the most powerful god in the Pantheon, in the lore at least, from God of War, literally stabs him with the sword multiple times and tries to cut him into pieces. Doesn't work. The only time it does work is when he impales him in the chest with the sword.
Yeah, but that's like Kratos having, like, Superman invulnerability, right? Like, he's just immune to damage, he's not immune to force. So, let's throw out a hypothetical here, okay?
Okay.
Sticky grenade. Kratos doesn't die to sticky grenade. But if Kratos gets hit or, like, catches a sticky grenade or whatever, right? The grenade's gonna blow up and knock Kratos back, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a situation where Master Chief can, like, I'm gonna say combo Kratos until he's, like, a non-factor? Do you think he deals with enough kinetic force that, like, he concusses and Master Chief just, like, uses his energy sword or, like, buries him in a planet or some shit where the in the lack of death doesn't do anything. Also, space is another factor. It's shown that Kratos can choke, so like it's possible to cut off air to his lungs and he falls unconscious. Apparently he doesn't die though. So I don't know if you've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but there's a character who's like a like perfect ultimate life form, and he gets shot into space, and he has to like form a chrysalis around himself, and is just stuck in a situation where he's like permanently alone and he can't die. Could Master Chief just do that to Kratos? Just like take him into space, just drop him off, and Kratos is just in a situation where he's constantly choking to death, waking up, choking to death, waking up.
I guess this situation's really weird because neither of them really die.
What's Kratos' win con?
Kratos' win con is being faster than Master Chief's draw speed. Are we saying, by the way, Master Chief has infinite ammo in this fight?
Probably not, but to make things fair, he probably has at least as much ammo as
We'll say
Video
he
Game
has.
Chief.
Well, he has the amount that he would start a custom game match with.
Sure.
Like you have like every weapon or whatever like on the floor, and they all have the max ammo that you can carry. So
We'll
he's
go
got
with that.
like what, 16 rockets? That honestly, he has enough firepower, but I think the problem is he needs to basically get Kratos in space or in a place to where Kratos can't get to him.
Yeah, but how does Kratos win?
Kratos stays out of space.
Right, but
So long as
couldn't
Kratos
Kratos needs to kill him to end the fight, right?
yeah,
So how does Kratos kill Master Chief?
out tank his ammo or get to him faster.
Okay, but like Chief has a jetpack, grappling hook, and like a slide. What does Kratos do to flight?
I don't know, he could throw his Leviathan axe, I guess. It's not like a foolproof thing, but it is, he can throw it really, really far.
Yeah, but Master Chief has a shield. Does Leviathan axe beat shield?
Maybe it can. I don't know. Enough hits.
Not enough hits.
Think about it this way.
But he has to, like, the Leviathan axe comes back at a rate that's, like, directly correlated to how far away it is.
I'm not saying it's the exact same, but I'm going to use this as an example.
Sorry.
You go ahead. We'll do your thing first.
Someone graphed it out, but the Leviathan axe moves the fastest when it's furthest away from Kratos and moves significantly slower the closer it is. So, like, I don't think Kratos, let's say Master Chief just, like, takes off and Kratos just starts throwing the axe at Master Chief. I don't think Kratos can combo the axe faster than the shield can regenerate.
Probably not. We could always bring the logic of this funny game called Halo Reach in. So, do you know the last mission of Halo Reach?
Isn't it just survive?
You survive. It's just the a very theatrical end to the game because the rest of the platoon is dead. You're the last remnant, and you're there to secure that everyone else can leave the planet that all of the Covenant are invading. And it's limitless. There's no way to win. You basically just kill as many bad guys as you can, and just over time, your health permanently gets reduced. So even if you have a visor, you could still die, and you will die. Does the same thing apply to Master Chief? Because this is a very long fight. His tech is obviously super advanced, but he's going against a demigod, and at this point, kind of a god. It's God of War. I mean, he's a god. How long can his armor withstand the might of a god?
How long does it have to?
Enough for him to knock him into space, or in a situation to where Kratos can't reach him.
Fair play. It's tricky. It's also hard to know, like, how good Kratos is at, like, dealing with certain types of attacks. Like, I don't think Kratos is bulletproof.
He's not.
But if he can deal with as much force as, like, a blow of Ares feels like, it seems like he should be. But, like, just Baldur hitting him against a mountain drew blood. So, like, does a bullet not pierce him?
I feel like a bullet does the equivalent of, like, a paper cut. And enough bullets will do some substantial damage, but I'm imagining right now that it basically just bounces off his pecs and it leaves like, oh, you scratched me. Now I'm upset.
Okay, fair play, I guess. But, like, Chief deals with members of the Covenant who just full body armor that's, like, completely immune to whatever he does, and they have, like, a single weak spot on his back. Let's say every bullet's akin to a paper cut. Doesn't he just, like, I don't know, energy blast Kratos' eyes?
Kratos turns away? I don't know. Kratos is just a little bit too durable, at least by lore standards. If we're going by gameplay standards, I think just Master Chief takes the dub, but we can't just consider it by that because that's a bit unfair.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But, like, if we're factoring in how the characters are represented, like, Chief takes out armies and, like free falls in space and...
I mean, yeah, but Kratos can do that too. It hasn't been depicted, but he's immortal.
Yeah.
He certainly could do it. And he's fought armies himself.
I guess when I picture Kratos versus an army of the Covenant, I just imagine him getting melted by, like, plasma rounds. I don't imagine him surviving that encounter. I imagine him waking up in Hades and being like, oh, this shit again. And, like, climbing out of Hades and being like, that was a weird thing.
That could happen, but, I think the problem is Kratos just doesn't have a good way to work around the tech. So simply put, I'm still standing by the Master Chief thing, but it's really annoying that we can't come to a conclusion because we're basically taking one semi-immortal badass and putting it against another.
Right.
Semi-immortal being for different reasons.
Yeah, it's like Master Chief's evasion is just too good for Kratos, and he's got too much range on him.
Mm-hmm. But Kratos can't die, and he's way too durable in general.
It's kind of like...
It'd be different if it was like Bon from SDS, because he's fucking squishy. Like, he's obviously immortal, but, like, fuck. So he's been blown up and, like, turned into shrapnel so many times by just the littlest things. It's like...
Yeah. Does Kratos have a win con against, like, people who can regenerate? Like, Deadpool.
Deadpool, no. I'm sorry.
Kratos has no win con against Deadpool, but does that mean Deadpool takes the dub, or, like, Kratos is just in a perpetual state of killing this motherfucker?
Does Deadpool get to break the rules?
Yeah, because that's Deadpool's thing.
Then he wins.
But how does Deadpool break the rules around
Saitama
Kratos?
against, like, Kratos. He wins.
Oh, wait! Deadpool knows the God of Death.
Yeah.
So Deadpool could
Try
totally...
to bang him. Or bang her.
Yeah, so Deadpool could totally kill Kratos.
Yeah.
What about Ghost Rider?
I don't know enough about Ghost Rider.
Okay, so Ghost Rider has an ability called the Penance Stare, where basically he can inflict an amount of pain and damage on someone equal to how much guilt and remorse they feel for their actions. They feel essentially every blow they've ever inflicted on someone. It's a really badass ability. It's really cool. And there are certain characters who are just immune, like Thanos, who is completely guiltless. Just laughs off the penance.
He's just like,
penance stare. But do you think the penance stare just like annihilates Kratos?
The problem is Kratos is obviously he is immortal, but I don't like using that example, so instead we'll go into this. Kratos has felt so much guilt and remorse for his actions, the pain has already been delivered. He's basically a shell of the normal human that he once was.
No, but there's situations that have occurred in the comics that are similar to that. Like, even characters who have redeemed themselves aren't immune. Like, Wolverine's a good stand-in for Kratos here. Wolverine's coped about as well. He went from being like a cold-hard mercenary badass to like a father figure the same way Kratos did. They had a very similar arc, and you know, the penance stare still works in Wolverine. It just debilitates him just completely, just because that guilt and remorse is still there, even if he's coped with it, even if his pain tolerance is stupid high.
Yeah, well, if Kratos doesn't have any way to specifically deal with that, and it's just solely based on emotion, he probably just dies to it. Not really die, but
he can't die.
He would just sit there and just go, my head, tummy hurt, head hurt, I need some ibuprofen, bro. Bro would be in the ibuprofen lock. He would be in the fetal position right next to his cabin.
Who do you think is Kratos' funniest matchup?
Kratos' funniest matchup?
Yeah.
Another Kratos.
Another Kratos v. Kratos.
Well, we have hit... Yeah, we're well over the hour mark. Do you want to keep going, or do you want to save...
I mean, I'd like you to answer the question, and we'll finish after that. Okay. I need the funniest matchup for Kratos.
The funniest? Hear me out. Kratos is a big, strong man, right? He's got the muscles and stuff. Mm-hmm. Kratos versus Popeye.
Kratos just loses so fucking hard. Popeye has, like, Toon Force.
Does.
There's a, like... piece of animation out there where like the universe eats itself and implodes, and in the white void that is left behind you spot a single can of spinach that opens itself. Popeye hops out of the can of spinach, eats it, and like punches the white void, and the universe returns. universe is
Hear me out.
restored by a sailor man with
Saitama
spinach.
versus Popeye.
I think Death Battle did that.
Did they? Hold up. We'll end the podcast soon, but I need to know this first. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. They did that.
That's fantastic. I gotta watch that.
Here, we'll watch that after the podcast.
Yeah, we'll watch after the podcast. We can talk about it.
Shout out to Death Battle, by the way.
They actually covered that. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah, I hope it's a decent one. Some of them were like really bad. They
Some of
seem
them
to
were
be
bad.
pretty terrible at certain characters with like lots of canon. Like every time they bring up a Dragon Ball Z character who isn't Goku, they're very bad at it. Like the Android 17 fight they did.
I'm not surprised, but I'm excited to see how that one goes. Because it's not that.
Also, they had Aang versus Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That was just such a curb stomp. People were so mad at them for that. They were like, why would you put him against Aang of all people? It's just so unfair.
It is unfair. You know what else is unfair?
The fact that we have to leave you guys now.
We do.
We'll see you guys next Sunday.
Next Sunday, where we're recording. What's in the plan sheet? Nothing.
Didn't we say we'd do something for episode 13?
No, actually, it was the idea that we don't plan anything for it, and we talk about it blindly.
No, during recording the D&D episode, we joked about what we'd do for episode 13.
Quietly listens to the D&D podcast. Didn't we joked about doing the Gorilla podcast?
Well, he's quietly listening to the D&D podcast, which you should totally check out, by the way, if you're interested in the history of D&D.
That one's cool, and there's over double the amount of content we normally upload.
I'm gonna stop the episode. You guys have a good night wherever you are.
I'm gonna steal the mouse and stop it myself. Get fucked.
Fuck you.
And you guys have a fantastic night. Bye.
Morning.